I think I just shook you.
You've been shook.
Okay, but no. So, two funny things about my appearance that I just realized before I sat down here on my bed, and right when I had a glimpse of myself in the mirror, I was like, okay. So basically, this side of my hair is drying faster than this side, and I am filming with wet hair because this is just a good time to film, and I have time right now. My hair doesn't have time to dry right now, but it's like this side is drying faster. Weird. And then the other thing, weirder, so either I'm the Little Mermaid, Ariel, or I am Hulk. I don't know. We got the green on the bottom, like the mermaid tail, and then we got this top, which is purple. So yeah, kind of funny. And then I know that Hulk is like purple and green too, and people are in my house, obviously. But yeah, oh, and my hair's kind of started turning red, so tomorrow I'm going to be chocolate brown again, going back to the hair person to basically start over, redo it, and just, it'll be good to get the brown that I want. So I guess Ariel, but you can't really tell because it's not too red and it's wet right now. But anyway, okay, so basically this is what I have for week 9. And it's really not all that much. The final was due this past week, and there were peer reviews and a random quiz, little small stuff like that. And I do have this little blurb that I want to share, which is about my teacher slash mom slash feedback and sharing it with my mom, the feedback that I got from my teacher. So this is what she had to say. This is what she had to say. No, I'm not going to read that to you guys. But just, basically, my teacher really critiqued my rough draft 2, the one before the final, the one that would help me, really aid me with my final. And yeah, she just really, I don't want to say she was harsh, but it's just, anyway. They're in the laundry room, but I'm doing a vlog right now. Okay, anyway, so I'm just gonna go. I honestly don't really like English teachers. They rip your work apart. They are too opinionated and subjective, in my opinion. And then my mom is funny. My mom made my day when she said what the teacher said was almost made her mad. She says, "I'm an amazing writer," her words. So the teacher was being kind of sort of harsh, honestly, basically saying to not redo it, but that was honestly how it came across. Like, she was saying more stronger statement and state theory, don't do reader response morals. So I just tweaked it like hardly anything, and then I turned it in basically as is or as was without many changes because I do what I want. So that's a little bit of sass right there, and I don't want to start the video like that I just did. So basically I didn't alter, my family's so loud and I don't appreciate this. But I just really didn't alter my rough draft into my final all that much. Basically, I added one line to my first paragraph after I switched, and I think I told you this in the last Take a College Class With Me video. But basically, I just flip-flopped the opening and ending paragraphs, just changed them. And I think I added only one other thing, and then I just turned it in. So, she was asking me to mention reader response, so I did. So after the first sentence, I just say, looking through the reader response theory lens, the short story Everyday Use tells a story about competition and love. And then I just go into detail, go through the rest of my paper. So that was that. So it was a little bit disappointing just hearing that feedback from my teacher, and I'm big into writing and creativity, and I really pour my heart and soul in this, and this is a harder class for me because it is analysis, and it is more reviewing, analysis, research, just that whole process, and there's not a lot of opinion in it, and I'm opinionated, and my teacher obviously is too, but anyway. So then, the final, which is basically starting this next week, like tomorrow for example. So it's the final research analysis, and my novel, which I have to read, which I have to find time for, which is crazy, which. But just, it's going to be crazy because I'm up really early, and then I'm tired after work, and I really want to start this over, and I'm sorry for the background noise. But okay, it's by Booth Tarkington, is I think the last name, and it's called The Magnificent Ambersons, and I have to find this book. I don't think it's available online, and I might have to purchase it and get it as soon as possible. And then with the coronavirus, things are taking longer to ship and get places, so. Anyway, it's 516 pages, and I don't know how big or small the text is, the font is. I don't know. So, that's going to be interesting. And then, just a few more things to share, I guess. So, I'll just do some notes. I watched this little video about preparing a research analysis paper, ... So this is what you want. 10 to 15 pages is persuasive. You want 10 to 15 scholarly sources. You don't want to include literature or dictionaries or scriptures. Those are called supplementary things. And then MLA, documentation, and format. And then this is appropriate for journal or the literary topic, what you signed up for. So basically that's just saying you need to pick something from the options. You can't just go out and choose just a random story or novel. And this is like the third paper. This is 3 of 3. The first one was based on a poem. The next one, someone's sneezing. The next one was based on a short story, and now we have an actual novel. So, develop research question that drives the paper. That's the purpose of the paper. It's to answer the question. Debatable question, conflicting ideas, ideology. That's what you want. Careful of purely opinion. I struggle with that. And then, does it require proof? Question mark. Questions give us purpose to writing, and I put a text heart by that because I'm weird. I liked that. Purpose to writing questions. So, how long will your question make your paper? That's important to note. Do some sincere amount of background work and brainstorming. Go through the primary question, and I don't really know what that means. I didn't understand that part, so I don't know why I included it. And then, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? That's like this paper. We have a few weeks to do this. Week 10 starts tomorrow, which is crazy to think. And then it should be due, well, I don't want it to be due, but it will be due week either 13 or 14, and I need to know that because that's important. And then answer the question by answering the supporting questions. And so this is just a little quiz. Through the reading assignments, I was able to learn what research is not and what research is. I learned that I am not just including other writers' thoughts, perspectives, and opinions, but I am evaluating them. And it is all about evidence. I'm sharing my personal beliefs and opinions and trying to persuade my readers to gain an understanding and maybe hopefully see through my perspective. The reading helped me know what to look for in this very important research analysis. I look forward to this coming assignment with both excitement and anxiety, but I am still excited nonetheless. So, peer reviewers, not going to go over that, but basically one person who reviewed my 2 drafts, draft 1, draft 2, they were great and very specific and honest and helpful. They had a lot of ideas to share, and I took their advice and I changed my paper according to some, just a few, of their ideas. The other person seemed more lazy and they just kept saying, good job, good job, good job, and there wasn't a lot of thought put into their editing or reviewing. And that's the whole point of a peer review. You, as a peer, are trying to help your fellow student, in this case me, myself, and I. You want to help them review. To review their paper through your review. Does that make sense? Like, they're trying to inspire you to look over your paper, and they're another source, another set of eyes, or readers. Okay. And then, this was a scary quiz. It took forever, I felt like, and it took like an hour plus. I think it was like 75 minutes by the time I finally hit submit. But it was scary because it really forced me to think of analysis, and that is really stressful to me. This class is kind of stressful, you know, and I'm glad it's almost over. And that's sad to say because I love English, and that's my minor, and, you know, but don't know what I'm doing here, trying to dry my hair naturally. But it basically really forced me to think about the final. And I don't remember doing anything like this for any other type of class. I've been in another, or I've taken another research class, not quite this serious. But anyway, So basically, I'm just gonna read over these questions. There's like 6 of them, or at least my answers to these questions. So, and I don't have the questions. I just have the answers. I didn't like copy paste or anything, but basically this is kind of what my take on the summary is, like the synopsis, I guess. I haven't read the novel, and this quiz was really confusing because the teacher knows that, right? And she's expecting us to look up articles, do our research, do our homework on this, and think of a theory and ideas and go with like a topic sentence kind of, that kind of thing. And I'm just like, we're not there yet. Like, I'm very pessimistic and negative right now because it was a really stressful week. But okay. Is George, that's a character in the book, more concerned by his family's fortune or by the girl he supposedly loves, Lucy? And how does this negatively and positively affect the relationships he has in the story? So that's a question that I might use, I don't know. So it's all about wealth, romance, selfishness, control, and society. Those are the key words to this story, I believe, I would say. And then George has the power out of all the characters, and he almost seems to rule the society around him, like his place of origin. That is not what I meant to say. But basically just where he's from, like his town, like he rules over everybody, and everybody really doesn't like him. Relationships have power in them, and it is our interactions that make it so. Society has a lack of power because it is out of control. The Ambersons, his family, are losing their power and control. So that's all about power, control, just like it all says. And it's also about Marxism and feminism. So the Marxism, is that how you pronounce it? We've talked about this for weeks and I still can't pronounce it. But that's basically money and wealth and the economy, and then the feminism aspect, that theory, it can stem off of relationships, romances, love. Now the story was actually inspired, some things I learned. The story was actually inspired by a neighborhood called Woodruff Place. The story takes place during the end of the Civil War and turn of the century. The focus of the story is on fortune and relationships. The author, Booth Tarkington, lived in the time period of his story. Author Booth Tarkington is one of the 4 people to win the Pulitzer, I think, Prize for fiction more than once. And feminism versus Marxist theories, Karl Marx, Terry Eagleton, sexism and relationships. How does the character view wealth? How do they view the opposite sex? So those are just 5 things to look into, just reminders for what my paper is going to be about. Now here are 10 questions and theories. So read a response. Why did the author of this novel use the word magnificent to describe the family in the story? New historicism. Why does this story take place when it does, and does it apply to today's world? And then archetypal, theory, Archetypal. Does this novel take any of the characters on in that word quest? Marxism. Why is it such a tragedy when the Ambersons' estate goes bankrupt? Same theory. Is George more hurt by his relationship with Lucy or by the money problems in the family? Same theory again. Is George more concerned by his family's fortune or by the girl he supposedly loves, Lucy? So kind of the same thing. How is George the ego in his relationship with Lucy? That is psychoanalysis. And then feminism, the last theory, feminism. Sorry, putting with my hair. Why is George so set on his having a relationship with the woman he loves but not wanting to let his mother have the same freedom in her potential relationship? How are women portrayed in the story, and then how are men portrayed in the story? Okay, so last thing, and then I will end. So I'm going to combine 2 of my questions, but that's my plan right now until my teacher tells me otherwise. So is really can't pronounce things today. Is George more hurt by his relationship with Lucy or by the money problems in the family? And is George more concerned by his family's fortune or by the girl he supposedly loves, Lucy? And how does this negatively and positively affect the relationships he has in the story? So to answer, kind of, even though I don't really have all the answers because I haven't read the book. George does not know nor care what he wants to do in the future nor with his life. All he seems to know is that he is in love with a girl who is interested yet indecisive in someone who plays games. All he seems to care about is this girl and not the fact that he needs to make something of himself for himself and his future. He is self-absorbed. If he really loves Lucy, then one way he could show his love is to be productive in finding what he should do occupationally and more. He seems annoyed that his family's wealth is no more, but yet he doesn't want to make wealth in the future because he doesn't want to find a job or something to do. He is creating drama by not wanting to help himself or his family financially. This strains relationships and it is steering Lucy away. So, yeah. I feel like positive Emily did not come out to hang out today, and I'm sorry. But, yeah, so I'm nearing the end. So there's light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully I get a passing grade. As long as I pass, even if I don't get that A grade that I would prefer and love and hope for, that is A-okay, and no pun intended, A-okay. But I don't know, I don't mind if I even get a C. I don't mind if I just quietly pass out of the class. I'm still phrasing things weird, but anyway. So I will get going, and I will let you go, if you're still here. But okay. Hulk, Little Mermaid, pronunciate, is gonna turn the camera off right now. Toodles, because everybody says toodles.